I'm almost 50 years old, and when I grew up, I didn't see a lot of black people where I live. I I was lucky enough. My mom and my dad were open-minded enough that I actually had a best friend who was black, even though all my peers and everyone else was white. It was kind of a rare thing to have somebody who's a friend that doesn't look like you. And I really didn't think about it too much. It's just like, these are my mom and dad's friends, and, this is the kid of my mom and dad's friend, so this is my friend. It's as simple as that, and had the best time. But the outcomes for both of us, we were the same age, we liked the same things, we had the same interests, the same intelligence level, pretty much the same. That's why we were friends and got along so well. The only difference was he was black and I was white. And then as we grew, the opportunities for me were a lot more than were for him. And consequently, he was left to go into a lifestyle that didn't work out for him, and he ended up dying from that, simply because of a lack of opportunity. And that to this day still hurts. It really does. So I've seen firsthand how society treats people who are equal except for how they look. I was lucky enough to get to know a black person when I was a kid. But there's lots of white people who haven't grown up with that experience, or if they did have that experience, it wasn't a positive one for whatever reason. Probably because people who came before that person done messed it up. So if you're white and you live in a rural neighborhood in the Midwest, chances are when you look down the street, you're not going to see black people. You're not going to see anybody who doesn't look like you. And if you have a job, you're going to be working with people who all look like you. When you watch TV, all those people look like you. When you watch movies, they all look like you. And if you do take an occasion to step out of that box and learn about people who don't look like you, it's not in the best light. It's not a fair view. It's more of a victim blaming kind of thing, like the exploitation movies, the hood movies from the 80s, made by white people, about, it just taints the well. Cops, the TV show Cops and Live PD, it just taints the well. You have white people who have no experience with a genuine, sincere relationship with people who don't look like them, whether you're black or Hispanic or, whatever you are. You have no experience with them except for what you see on TV and in the movies, and then that's not even in a positive way. So if you're forming your opinions based on that, then yeah, I can see why you might be racist, why you might be bigoted, why you think the ways that you do. But that's not fair, and that's not a way to get to know a black person or to get to know somebody who doesn't look like you. So when I grew up, there was this problem where it was hard to get to meet people who weren't like you, or see a view other than what was portrayed on TV or in the movies, which often wasn't fair. But today, that's different. We're interconnected. You can watch interviews with people who don't look like you. You can watch their vlogs. You can listen to their stories. You can follow their lives and see that they're just people just like you, that whatever preconceived notion, whatever prejudice or bigotry that you had formed based on your experience, reshape it based on your new experience. We can be taught to, we can learn, we just need that experience. And I think that a lot of white people have just written off, if you're not like me, I believe everything I've heard about you, I don't even have time for you, because you're not going to change my mind. And that's based on a lot of stuff that they see for themselves in a limited way, but they're seeing it through the eyes of this prejudice. Like when they go into a black neighborhood and they see it's all run down, and they see that there's trash everywhere, and people on the streets late at night, like nobody has a job, and they're like, these people, well, no one wants to invest in a black neighborhood. White people have all the money and they don't want to invest. They don't want to make things better. And they don't want to give jobs to people. And some of the jobs they can't give to people because the education system and the environment that they were forced to try to learn in failed. So now they're just left without the skills to do the jobs, to make the money, to pay for the improvements, to make their lives better and their neighborhoods better. You see, it's conflict theory. It's one thing leads to another. It's like white people take a shit in a pitcher of water, and then they're like, this water tastes like shit. There must be something wrong with the water. It's like, no, you took a shit in it. That's what's wrong with it. It's really as simple as that. So I invite white people who don't know about black people to just seek something out. If you're on YouTube, the algorithms are racist. They're programmed by racist people. It's feedback from racist people. So if you want suggestions that are from people who don't look like you, you have to seek those out yourself. They're not going to be given to you. You have to really look for those. So I would suggest starting with the NAACP, start with the civil rights, the civil activists organizations. Start with those, and then you can start to reach out and learn a little bit more about the struggles that people who don't look like you face. And then maybe you might have a neighbor who's black. Maybe you might have a coworker who's black. So how to get to know a black person, check it out. Try to figure that one out, and maybe we'll be better off.